So you can't find Weller Special Reserve or Weller Antique, and you're looking for a Buffalo Trace product that uses the same grains as that? We're going to review Buffalo Trace Kosher Wheat Recipe 94 Proof. So full disclosure, this bottle is not easy to find either. I think the Weller may be more impossible. Certainly the antiques, at least by me in New Jersey, they're unbelievably crazy priced when you do find them, even the Special Reserve. But this one hasn't been really easy either, nor has the Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye Recipe. In my last video, I kind of just showed you both of them, and the truth of the matter is that I have had this before, the wheat recipe, but this was reviewed on Facebook prior to my TikTok days. I have not done a TikTok review on this, which we're going to do right now. I have reviewed this one, previous bottle on TikTok, and I think absolutely this is certainly better than the flagship Buffalo Trace and possibly other Buffalo Trace products as well. So this one, actually, I have not had for a longer time, and I want to come back to it. And as I said before, these bottles used to be $40 by me. They then disappeared for a long time. When I did see them, they were like crazy price, and they're like $90, even higher. And finally, I started to see them here and there. And there's a store by me that had these for $54. Both of these I purchased there at different times. This one's been sitting around a little while waiting to be reviewed. That one I got today. So I figured we'd start with this one because I would like to compare this to other wheated bourbons. And just really quick, this is part of a line of Buffalo Trace kosher whiskeys. Really quickly, they're not kosher for Passover, but they are kosher. And they are... basically read you from this. This is because to ensure the barrels are not owned by a Jew during Passover, they're sold to a non-Jewish executive for the holiday, according to the Chicago Rabbinical Council, CRC, and the whiskey is then released to distributors after the holiday. This process ensures the whiskey remains kosher, but is not considered kosher for Passover. And being that we are now, Passover has not begun, this bottle, most likely, since I've already had this a few weeks, most likely was released after last year's Passover in 2024. So this is aged 7 years. It's 94 proof. It's aged in kosher barrels. Again, kosher. It's kosher, but not kosher for Passover. And it is a wheated bourbon. Again, this says it right on the back. It's the same grains as the Weller line. I want to revisit it now, see how much better it is. As I recall, I can tell you for a fact, I remember having Weller Special Reserve. I believe this easily can compete with that, if not better. Not saying this is Weller Antique. It's also lower in proof. But the point is, if you can find this and you're getting this, even with the price of $54, if you think about what those Wellers are, crazy prices, and the quality of this is a good find if you could find it. So let's pour this up and let's see what we think. Okay, so we have this poured up. That was a so-so cork pop, but it almost was too easy to get out of the bottle, this cork. So hopefully everything's cool in here and it's been airtight. But I've seen that a lot. Sometimes the cork pops are okay, but it still means it doesn't mean that it hasn't been airtight. So let's give this a nose. This is interesting. It's very light. It's a different nose than I say from certainly a Makers, and even thinking about the Bardstown Bottled and Bond. This is going to be compared to Makers and the Bardstown Bottled and Bond wheat, and then we're going to take out the high wheat. So we have a few to compare this to. But it's a pretty light nose. Let's give this a taste. Cheers. This is good. From my recollection, this does certainly, at a minimum, I'm getting the Weller Special Reserve in my head. It's been a little bit of a while since I've had it. But you definitely get more of a wheated taste here, a little softer. There is spice, but it's not rye spice. Just because you have a wheated bourbon doesn't mean that it's not. You do pick up sometimes taste of spice. It's not rice spice. It's different. Color is nice. Really drinks nice at 94 proof. It's pretty potent 94 proof, I'd say. Nice finish. I'd say basically, remembering certainly the Weller Antique, it's not Weller Antique. It's not. Again, that's also well, like 14 proof points higher, or rather, I mean, 13 proof points higher, 94 proof. That's well, 107. That is, but it is, so it's not that. It's also not the same price as it. It's certainly what you could find. So I think this is good. I'm not sure. This is why I'm going to do several blinds. I think this is good. Certainly, well, a special reserve good. Certainly competing in that area. I'm not sure it's going beyond that. So it could be using the same grains, but again, there's also different proofs and other things involved. Maybe stored differently, aged differently. What I like to do is compare this, first off, in whether they be blinds or side by side. I like to do this. Excuse me, this. Makers 46, these are both 94 proof. I may not even do this in a blind. I'm not sure, because this is noticeable with the French oak finishing. This doesn't have it. But this is a wheated bourbon, same proof. I'd like to also compare it to the Bardstown bottled wine. It's 100 proof. And possibly the high wheat when I reopen that. I'm going to also do a blind between those two Bardstown wheateds. But I'd like to compare this with a few of them. This is I think this sort of is a unique profile of its own. So I'll get more into this. I think this is good. Trying to remember, it's been a while. I would say in comparison, again, I think this is in the range of the Weller Special Reserve for sure. It's not, to me, again, proof difference, but the Weller Antique is certainly in my head better. But this is really good, and certainly, even if you just take the Weller Special Reserve, right? We know what it's supposed to be, but in reality, what it is. I mean, I've seen the Special Reserve for $110 behind the glass. Yeah, if you can believe that, which is insane, because that's nowhere near what the MSRP is. But I've seen it for those prices and crazy prices. So the fact that I once got this for 40, okay, I'm not going to see that again. But I was seeing $99. I was seeing prices for this that are like the Weller Special Reserve behind the glass. The fact that I got this for now for $54, considering it's on the level of that and possibly better than that, I think it's a good deal. How does it compare to the other wheaters? I'm going to have to do that more. But for now, that's a good first try. So we'll get more into this, get into the rye recipe at another time, but we're going to do a lot of experiments with this one. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Take care.